Like, he's extremely obsessed about his audience. He's extremely smart, so he knows what he's doing. He knows his audience is children. He knows exactly how their brains work. He knows exactly how to reach them and get them to do what he wants. Like, he sat down and studied the minds of children on some sociopathic type shit. It's obvious if you're here to be predatory to kids with their money, you're just going to attract other predators who not only just want the money, but they also want other things. This just goes to MrBeast. He's also extremely accountable.
Situation just got so much worse, with new serious allegations and over 500,000 leaked messages from her Discord server that not only incriminate Chris Tyson, but also raise suspicions on MrBeast's level of involvement in their controversy. Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist.
It's been a rough 2024, man. Well, shit, it's been a good 2024 for us, but for them niggas, bro, it's just the entire situation. It's just tiring, just waking up every single day. Opening Twitter, it's somebody new. Yesterday it was Dr. Disrespect. Today it was MrBeast and Chris V, the cameraman from AMP. It's like, bro, it's nasty, bro. And I always say you are the average of the 5 people you hang around the most. Predators are targeting people like Kai and people like MrBeast to use their audience. It's nasty, bro. To even be in that position where you could be so focused on employing people, building things, and somebody behind you can just ruin all of that. They have other ulterior motives, and it's so nasty, bro.
Weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be looking into the disturbing updates to the Chris Tyson situation. In my last video titled The Satisfying Downfall of Chris Tyson, I covered Chris's association and support for the CP drawing artist Shadman, as well as the victims and ex-MrBeast employees who came forward sharing their inappropriate experiences with Chris. Little did I know when I uploaded this video was that things were about to get a whole lot worse, with over 500,000 alleged messages being leaked from Chris's old Discord server, as well as extremely serious allegations of assault shared in a statement from her ex. On the 24th of July 2024, user Nathan W., who previously called out Chris for her inappropriate relations with him when he was just 15 years old, would post a tweet claiming that he would be releasing an archive containing over 500,000 messages from her Discord server.
That's crazy. It's like they were so bold with it. They felt so comfortable. It's almost like they were so arrogant, they really felt that no one would ever know. Like, it's well documented on the internet, bro. On the Discord, like, it's so normal now. You feel me? Like, this has happened so many times. Discord's being leaked. Screenshots. Screen captures. Like, are you that stupid? Are you that stupid? 500K? Like, what? This at 500? Bro, that shit nasty, man.
Would display Chris's alleged strange and not safe for work behavior around children.
Ava Chris Tyson's Discord server leaks are getting dropped in a little less than an hour. Now keep in mind, this server was scrubbed clean before it went public, and this is the result of after the great cleansing, as Lava called it.
Later that day, the archive would be made public, and internet users, including myself, would begin to scrape the data to find evidence for or against Chris. Before we read any of these messages, Twitter user CopenSeath would make a post sharing the alleged ages of the people involved in the conversations, with the estimated age being 14.25, but also going as low as allegedly 11 years old. With that being said, let's take a look at some of the strange messages allegedly being sent, starting with evidence Chris may have.
This is weird, bro. This is weird, man. To even be able to relate to a child, you have to be able to have the internal dialogue of a child. So if you understand how powerful the subconscious is, and understanding that the subconscious can't tell the difference between reality and fantasy, you have to think these thoughts in order to vibrate at that reality. So in order to attract his reality, or their reality in totality, whoever it is, whether it's Dr. Disrespect or Ava or it's Chris, like, you have to be a child mentally. And you see with Kai and MrBeast, their audience is mainly children. So like I said, they used MrBeast and Kai's audience to literally be around all these kids. It's almost like Quiet on the Set. It's the exact same thing. It's like, oh man, it's so mischievous. And Dr. Disrespect, nasty ass, go post a picture of a chess move well, a meme of like him playing chess and the other person in front of him playing checkers, almost on some manipulation shit. It's like, bro, you are playing and acknowledging that you're a master manipulator, especially when it's involving children and sex, bro. That's nasty, and they're so fucking stupid. They don't see that shit. That's the reason why you gotta put men like that on the registry. Ah, it's nasty.
Sharing feet pictures, with a message reading, "Buy my feet pics," with someone responding, "That's illegal," and another user saying, "Nasty feet, boy." There would also be evidence backing up underage users calling Chris dad, with messages reading, "Chris, are there any big boys in the chat? Nathan, hi dad, yes." What's even more disturbing is Chris would ask a user to prove if she was a lolly, a term used for young girls in an erotic manner. Chris says she's a lolly, never proved it, I think not, with Chris later saying, "FBI has joined the chat." If you thought this was bad, Chris would even go as far as sharing his personal Snapchat and
And he knew it. He knew it. He knew these. Bro. And they try to brand this as being edgy. They try to double speak, but that's a narcissist's favorite tool belt. Like, if a narcissist were Batman, double speak is like the Batarang. So they can always say, well, I was just playing, I was just joking, I was just kidding, I was just being edgy. Nah, you being nasty.
With messages reading, "My personal snap is Tyson NOSYT, but I won't add anyone back who doesn't like anime," with another message reading, "Lol, jealous lolly is jealous," and that user replying stating, "I will literally blank your ass." One can only wonder what Chris was sending to these kids in private, but even from what she posted in public, it doesn't look good, with more screenshots revealing Chris role-playing inappropriately with minors, reading, "Uwu unzips blank," as well as "Uwu licks blank," and "nuzzles peen." Chris also allegedly claimed to have posted nudes in the NSFW channel, with a message reading, "Just put my nudes in NSFW." If this evidence wasn't enough, I would create a thread on the 28th of July going through some horrible moments I personally found in the archive, including one featuring MrBeast, with Chris stating, "@tags, I have a crush on you." Another user replying stating, "@Chris, I want your blank," with Chris replying, "You can have it right now," as well as another message tagging Chris stating, "How dare you assault my state, now get your holes ready," with Chris replying, "Calm your she blank down." There would also be another really weird message of Lava tagging Chris saying he has a massive blank. If this wasn't already some of the most disgusting screenshots you've seen, Chris was found allegedly linking Shadman's site featuring drawn CP directly to the server. This pattern of behavior would also be backed up 2 years later, with another screenshot quoting, "Refreshing Shadbase daily lol," which sets in stone just how degenerate Chris has been. In this next screenshot, Mr.
Yeah, you gotta kill this dude, man. These are patterns. These are obvious patterns, man. Like I said, you gotta put these type of dudes on the registry. Ah, man. Yeah, this is nasty, man.
Beast would get involved, with user Discount Milk stating, "His blank isn't big enough, I'd know," with MrBeast replying, "No, I know his blank size, and it's huge," with another user stating, "MrBeast, are you gay? That moment you deep throat a whole blank," with Discount Milk stating, "I'll deep throat Chris's blank," with Chris replying, "Haha, MrBeast joins in to comment on my blank size, I love it." For those wondering if this was actually MrBeast and not an impersonator, not only would Nathan confirm that this was really him, but Twitter user Doesn't Matter would create a thread proving why this was MrBeast with evidence, reading, "A small thread on how this is 100% MrBeast, and why the community note is incorrect. The account that posted this had its user ID leaked in the chat logs. The account had Chris's friend role. Keep in mind, user IDs never change, even after the name changes. With that info, you can look up the user ID on sites such as discordlookup.com, where this website tells you if the account is still active and has a new name. This account used to own the server, before the account the community note mentions took over. This account also had his official accounts linked to it. Here's a screen recording of that. You cannot link accounts that you cannot log into. So now that we have established that this was MrBeast involved, let's continue.
Yeah, it's over, man. GG. You feel me? I don't even want to be on no fake spiritual shit because I'm not even a Christian. You feel me? But hey, on some MrBeast, Mark of the Beast type shit. Hey, bro, words are powerful, man. There's power in the tongue. Like, he's extremely obsessed about his audience. He's extremely smart, so he knows what he's doing. He knows his audience is children. He knows exactly how their brains work. He knows exactly how to reach them and get them to do what he wants. Like, he sat down and studied the minds of children on some sociopathic type shit. So that's the reason why he attracted. It's obvious. If you're here to be predatory to kids with their money, you're just going to attract other predators who not only just want the money, but they also want other things. This just goes to MrBeast. He's also extremely accountable.
To look into the messages, with more from Chris indicating some sort of alleged attraction to 14-year-olds. Chris, she is only 14. Damn. With an attachment link. And another user stating, if she's 14, I'm 14. Not only did this server include a not safe for work channel, but Chris would also be seen asking if gore should be allowed, stating, should gore be allowed in NSFW, or should it only be blank? It seems the depravity in Chris's server got to a point where other users would refer to themselves as lollygods. At Chris the Meme God, lollygod is back. Chris would also state, I would love to be able to flip between genders whenever I wanted to. With there being over 500,000 messages leaked, these are just the tip of the iceberg. Following the leaks, user Lava, who previously came to Chris's defense, would post a tweet sharing his story, as well as calling out Chris's IRL friend, Disturbed Milk, who was seen in the screenshots heavily engaging inappropriately with minors, where Lava would quote, fight tooth and nail with Chris to get him banned. If things weren't bad enough for Chris already, on the 30th of July, Dramalert would post a tweet stating, Chris Tyson's leaked NSFW Discord channel logs are going to be released to the public soon. The previous leak did not include this channel, which is said to be the most damning. There are allegations that minors had access to this channel, but things would take a turn for the worse when Nathan would respond to Keemstar stating he never had the NSFW leaks to begin with. Update, my last tweet about us having the NSFW log from Chris Tyson's server was incorrect. I misinterpreted and didn't properly validate the information I read before making my statement. I apologize for the confusion, it was not my intent to spread misinformation. Where Keemstar would respond accusing Nathan, the previous victim of Chris, of being paid off. In a tweet reading, he said he was dropping the Chris Tyson NSFW channel logs in a tweet and in an interview today. Now he's saying he doesn't have them. This don't smell right. Someone got paid off. This bold accusation would be met by a response from Nathan, stating, I don't think MrBeast would pay someone off after they already released hundreds of thousands of messages thoroughly proving their best friend / co-star is a blank. Despite his response, Nathan would receive mass harassment from Keemstar's fans who were convinced he had been paid off by MrBeast. However, according to Nathan, the misinformation regarding the NSFW channel getting leaked was simply due to an error in communication. So I reached out to Nathan to verify these claims and get his side of the story.
I'm Nathan, known as Brain Freak Online. I'm one of the people who helped leak Chris's Discord server. I wanted to give my statement about what happened on Sunday regarding the Chris Tyson NSFW logs that were announced to be released by myself and why they were never released. I had actually slept in the morning that I announced the NSFW logs. I was scheduled to be on a live podcast that morning and I was rushing to get into it when I was checking my notifications, at which point I saw messages in a group chat I'm in with the people who downloaded the logs from Chris's server, as well as the people who are doing the tech side of things with the website, and they were talking about the NSFW channel. And they had sent a screenshot of it, but they were saying if we have it, referencing the NSFW channel, not we have it. And I was skimming over the messages, I was completely exhausted, I had just woken up, and I completely misinterpreted what these messages were saying. Then I later went on to genuinely believe we had the NSFW channel. However, I was completely mistaken. It was miscommunication on my part, and I should have double checked my sources. I've been doing my best at being as transparent as possible and only bringing the truth to light about this situation. So I do apologize to anyone that I let down who thought this information was gonna come out. I wanna end this video off by saying I've never been paid by MrBeast and I never will be. I would never allow money to buy my silence, especially when it comes to a topic this serious. I wanna make that very clear.
Along with the Discord leaks, there would also be another alleged victim who would...
Hey man, I'm seeing a lot of Drake and MrBeast similarities, man. Hey, like MrBeast is almost like the Drake of YouTube at this point. It's looking nasty, you feel me? And his group is like the OVO hoes. Ah man, it's looking nasty, bro.
Forwards with extremely serious SA allegations. Something to note before we get into them is that the account who made the statements, Muskina, is also one of the 3 accounts followed by Chris Tyson's private accounts, indicating that they are connected in some way. I was blank assaulted by Ava Tyson, and here's my story. For context, Ava and I are both adults and we met each other as adults. Ava followed me on Twitter in November of 2022, after seeing my transition timelines on Twitter when I had under 500 followers. We started messaging each other every day through Twitter. She confided in me me that she thought my results from HRT were amazing, and that she was planning on getting HRT soon to transition herself. As someone who follows online culture, content, and streaming, I was overwhelmed by emotions with being trusted with this secret, and information that I knew would be huge news. As a transgender woman who publicly transitioned a month earlier, I genuinely could not believe that something so amazing had happened to my life after I'd been through so much. Eventually, we talked about me potentially working for MrBeast, and she told me that she was sure she could get me in a video. She was the most famous person to ever show me that type of attention, and she immediately started love bombing me and making me feel like I'm the most important person in her.
Narcissism, bro. Narcissism, bro. I could just look at the patterns, man. Love bombing. Intentionally going after people that are abused. Like, there's an entire Netflix documentary called How to Start a Cult. And one of the first things they tell you is that cult leaders intentionally go after weak people. Like I said, you are the average of the 5 people you hang around the most. So weak, abused, narcissistic men try to attract weak people who are damaged and traumatized to make themselves seem strong. So man, this is obvious signs, bro. It's so obvious.
Life. Within the first few weeks of us talking, she told me that she told her therapist about the positive impact I was making on her life, and that she told her friends about me. She quickly moved our conversation to Snapchat. While I was under the impression that she was working on getting me in a video, we started having video chats on Discord. Ava asked me to blank with her on video call multiple times, and I always felt like I had to say yes if I wanted to be in a video or get a job. On one occasion, she asked me to join a video call and asked me to blank even though she knew I wasn't feeling well, which led to me joining and puking after a few minutes. Our conversations always leaned in the direction of affectionate and blank, and she sent me a lot of blank explicit Snapchats, messages, photos, and videos. Our relationship was very confusing to me, and I didn't fully realize I was being coerced at the time. She eventually flew me out to her home in Greenville with a one-way ticket while I was still under the impression that she would be getting me in a video with MrBeast. The first night at her house, she told me to sit up in her bedroom, as I would be sleeping there with her. I thought that this was potentially the beginning of a relationship. When we went—
Man, this just sounds so predatory, man. This sounds so predatory. Like love bombing. Promising, well, I'm gonna get you in a video with MrBeast. Like, it's some actor right now serving like 54 years right now for doing something similar to Drake. Then, hey, I know Drake, I can get you this, I can get you that, and then end up sexually assaulting a bunch of women. That dude got 54 years now. This is the exact same situation, bro. I can see the pattern. It's nasty.
bed together that night, we ended up cuddling and kissing, which led to her taking her clothes off and asking for oral blank from me. I went down on her expecting to engage in blank that would be reciprocated, but when I was done, she made it clear that she did not want to return any blank favors to me. I was hoping that would not be the case next time we hooked up, and I believed we would be moving to something more mutual. Over the course of the next week, Ava engaged me blank and ended up receiving oral pleasure several times, but she never reciprocated any of the blank favors in return. When I was done, I was too scared to directly ask for anything in return, and she took advantage of that. The day she first posted publicly that she was on HRT was also the first week I was there. After making her post, Jimmy called her later that night, while Ava was receiving oral blank from me. She answered the phone and had that conversation with Jimmy while I continued to perform oral on her. I was again given access to very private information, which made me feel special, something that happened consistently through our relationship. After almost a week, I was really starting to feel used and confused about everything. While I was there, I found out through a conversation between Ava, myself, and her friend that she did not have the ability to cast anyone in a MrBeast video. I eventually asked Ava to buy me a ticket home and flew home the next day. Leaving Ava's house was incredibly difficult to process emotionally after that week. I remember trying to hold myself together while traveling so that I wouldn't break down in public. When I got home, I spent the rest of the night crying uncontrollably without fully understanding what happened to me. Ava and I remained in contact, but she did not show me the same level of attention and affection as she did before I spent a week with her. This was the first time we went through the cycle of her love bombing me, using me, falling for someone else, treating me like I'm an annoying jealous ex, then coming back to me when things didn't work out. Shortly after that first week, she went on a work trip to Japan and invited someone else, but things did not turn out the way she expected. She was upset and flew back early from her trip, and she also offered me a job as her assistant and offered me to move in with her. I quit my job that month and moved in with her on June 16th and began working that day. During this trial period,
this is weird. You're gonna have that powerful position. You want to have sex with this person, but also be the boss and maintain their money, maintain their travel. This is obvious signs, man. Yeah, this is obvious signs of a predator.
and my employment, Ava continued to receive oral blank from me multiple times, and I started to feel like I was being coerced. Because I started feeling that way, I decided to try and avoid any physical engagement between Ava and I that could lead to more one-sided blank acts. I took a short trip to my home state at the end of July and returned on July 28th. When I got back, I continued to do my best to avoid anything physically blank between Ava and I. On July 29th, we were watching TV together alone in her living room. With no warning, prior physical engagement, or blank conversation, she took her pants off and started touching herself in front of me. I had just moved in with Ava and left my job to come work as her assistant. In no way, shape, or form did I feel like I could say no without somehow risking my job or being asked to leave. She used that against me in order to receive non-consensual oral blank. This was the moment that truly broke me for the first time. Nothing was enjoyable, I felt it would never end, and my entire body just hurt from performing the act. It took me a few days to accept what happened. Unfortunately, I was dealing with all these emotions while on a work trip traveling the country and spending most of my time with people I had just met. The trip itself was very isolating as an employee, and there were several times where I broke down crying, and I spent the entire drive crying but trying to be as quiet as possible so that I didn't bother anyone. I then had to wait and board an overnight flight from Boston to Los Angeles, and when I boarded the plane, I decided to send Ava a message on Telegram sharing my concerns with her. I tried to do so carefully and navigate the conversation in a way that would stop me from being blank assaulted again, but allow me to keep my job. Ava was very manipulative in her response and follow-up conversations we had in person once we'd got to our hotels. We agreed not to have blank anymore, if that's how I felt about what happened. The alleged victim would continue to document her side of the story, leading up to her being fired from her.
These MrBeast dudes some freaks, man. Not only is MrBeast exposed for that racist shit, but it's like, bro, what caliber of person makes jokes like that? We kids. And then this obvious signs of a predator. Like, it's even worse just thinking about MrBeast buying an entire town and having all his employees stay in that town. So imagine other people having these stories. Feel me? You are being paid by this man. You have to stay with this man in your vicinity. Your entire livelihood is dependent on this shit. And y'all out here fucking doing all nasty shit. Nah. Yeah, this shit going down now.
And sending a complaint to HR regarding the SA, where Chris would find out and respond to her saying, "Wow, Jess," and blocking her. Something worth noting is that there didn't seem to be any conclusive evidence of SA taking place, and a lot of internet users have come to the conclusion that this statement sounds like it could be coming from a jaded ex who is sharing negative experiences of being involved in a one-sided relationship without established boundaries. So take from that what you will. MrBeast has also been getting exposed for a variety of unethical practices, of which I'll be posting a video on soon. Make sure you subscribe to stay in the loop. The leaked messages from Chris's Discord server have exposed a shocking pattern of behavior that's left us all wondering how this could even happen. From sharing explicit content to role-playing with
those messages were from what, 2019? So yeah, MrBeast, he knew. It's 2024 right now, and he was a part of that shit. Yeah, wrap it up. Wrap it up. Hey, appreciate y'all. See you in the next video.